kids. Now let us move ahead in our chapter civics, chapter number 2, federalism. Okay, till in the second second part of this chapter, we had studied till the residuary list, which was a new list formed by our government, which has arrived recently and brought new subjects for interest such as computer hardware and software, and that these subjects are directly handled by the central government. Now let us move ahead. Holding together federation doesn't give equal power to its constituent units, which means that all states of Indian Union do not have identical powers. So we have studied it earlier also. Holding together federation, it doesn't give equal powers or identical powers between the constituent states. So the states under federal holding together federation, they do not enjoy equal powers. One state has got a certain amount of power, but the other state has got little more or little less power as compared to that previous state. So in this case, Indian Union is the best example where our states, they do not have identical powers. For example, states like Jammu and Kashmir enjoy a special status with its own constitution, and many provisions of Indian constitution are not applicable to this state. So though Jammu and Kashmir used to be a separate or special state before 2019, it used to enjoy its own constitution. It had its own, please mark my, understand my words, what I am saying. It had its own constitution before 2019. Whatever provisions were made in Indian constitution were not at all applicable in Jammu and Kashmir's constitution. Okay, but now the scene has changed. 370 and 35A Act has been removed from the constitution, and after the removal of these two acts, Jammu and Kashmir has become the part and parcel of Indian constitution. Okay, it has come under the Indian jurisdiction. Okay, now Jammu and Kashmir has the common power which other states they have. So it used to be, please, and while writing the answer, you should write in Jammu and Kashmir used to enjoy the special status before 2019, since the textbook has not made any changes according to the change in the constitutional amendments. Okay, further, on the other hand, there are some units of the Indian Union which enjoy very little powers, like Chandigarh, Lakshadweep and the capital city of Delhi. So these are the territories these are the small units. Okay, and being small units, they enjoy very little powers. Who are these? What are these? Which are these places? These are like Chandigarh, Lakshadweep and the capital city of Delhi. So these are known as union territories, since they are too small to be independent states, or even they are merged with existing states. The union territories are governed directly by the central government. So these are the union territories. So India has its central government, India has its state governments, and India has union territories. So these union territories are known as union territories because they are very small in size, so they enjoy very little power and they are directly controlled by the central government. They don't have their independent union territory government as such. Okay, they don't have their independent government. They are controlled by the central government. So let us see which are those 7 union territories of India. We have Delhi, Chandigarh, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Lakshadweep Islands, Pondicherry or Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. Okay, these are the union territories of India which are directly controlled by the central government. They don't have their independent government. Okay, it is very important, so it is very difficult to make changes in India's power sharing agreement, as any change has to be approved by a 1/3 majority in both the houses of parliament and then legislature of half of the number of the states. Okay, so it is very difficult to make changes in the Indian power sharing agreement. Okay, if you have to make any changes, what you need to take approval about 1/3 from each houses of the parliament. Each houses means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. From both these houses you need approval of 1/3 of approval, okay, from both the houses. And then you have to come to state legislature. Here half of the number of the states legislature. Now these things, these approval you need, and then only you will get the right to change the make the changes in the India's power sharing. What you need from both the houses of parliament like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, you need 1/3 of approval, majority of approval, and then half of the state legislatures approval to make changes in the power sharing of India. Okay, so these are the things which constitution has made provision under it if you need to make any changes in India's power sharing agreement. Further, another important aspect that makes India a federal country is its judiciary. We have discussed about it earlier also. Now, why judiciary is important for federal countries like India? Because the judiciary administers both union and state laws, and in case of any disputes about the division of powers, the High Court and the Supreme Court make a decision. Hence, judiciary acts as the guardian in the Indian federalism. So why do we need a judiciary? See, we have different levels of government. These different levels of government, they may have disputes, conflicts among them. So who will resolve these conflicts and disputes? So there should be a body who would look after and who would control these disputes and take a firm decision. So that body is judiciary. So judiciary acts as a guardian where it controls both union and state government if they have a dispute or conflicts among them. So judiciary is very important for the Indian federal system or any kind of federal government. Okay. Further, now the real success of federalism in India can be attributed to the nature of democratic politics in our country. So what kind of government do we follow? We follow democratic government where people, where the government is for the people, of the people, and by the people. Okay. So democratic politics, it is the cause of the success of federalism in India. That is spirit of freedom, secular outlook, respect for diversity, and urge to live together. So what come under democracy? Democracy allows the nation to live freely, to have the secular outlook. Secular means you have got the freedom to choose any religion, okay, of your own. After certain age, okay, you have respect, and you have there is a respect for diversity, and there is urge to live together. All these things come under democracy, and because of democracy, federalism, this concept is successful in the country like India, where there are diversified religions, diversified states, languages are there, cultures are there, tradition are there. Okay, because of the democracy, federalism could survive in a country like India. Further, the most important test for the success were the creation of linguistic states, language policy, and central state religion. So what through which important test the success was there for the federalism? So federalism it created linguistic states, language policy, and central state religion. So many languages are there in India. How to control them? How the states were formed when so many languages were there? So for these things, linguistic states were formed, language policy was adopted, and based on this, central and state relations were maintained. How? Further, at the time of independence in 1947, there were many states that had more than one local language. So based on the local language, states were developed after the independence after 1947. So imagine these many languages and these many states. Then it would be very difficult for that at that time for the government, which was newly formed, to control these states. So one local government, one state. So many languages, many states. So, however, in 1956, under the State Reorganization Commission, the states were created on the basis of language. So in 1956, under the State Reorganization Commission, a commission was formed named the State Reorganizers. The states were reorganized. Okay, these states were created on the basis of language. So on the basis of language, these many states were created. During this time, many small states, they disappeared and new one came into existence. So what happened after 1956, when the State Reorganization Commission was adopted? After that, these small states who used to follow their local language, okay, languages, these states got disappeared and a new one came into existence having one state language. Okay, so for example, for this, okay, we will see the several examples over here. Bilaspur was an independent state till 1954, after which it was merged as a district in the state of Himachal Pradesh. See, Bilaspur, before 1954, Bilaspur was a state based on its own local language, okay, but after the adoption of State Language Commission or Reorganization Commission, Bilaspur got merged into Himachal Pradesh as a district. Earlier it enjoyed itself as being a state, but after this commission was adopted in 1956, it got merged in the Himachal Pradesh, in the state of Himachal Pradesh as a district. Okay, then further, in 1966, Haryana was created from the state of Punjab. Punjab and Haryana, before 1966, both of them were one state. Okay, but after 1966, Haryana got separated from Punjab and it became a separate state based on its language. Further, Telugu speaking districts of Madras state became the new state Andhra Pradesh. So Chennai now, okay, earlier it was called Madras. So Madras or Chennai, it had 16 northern Telugu speaking districts under it. Okay, but these Telugu speaking states were different from the other language which used to be followed or spoken at that time in Madras. So these 16 northern Telugu speaking states, they got separated and they formed their own state afterwards. Okay, was named as Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh got separated from Chennai or Madras based on the languages. So some states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand were created as their cultural and ethnic differences. So some states, not only these states were separated because of their languages, but because of the difference in culture, their culture and ethnic differences. Okay, these states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand, they got their identity based on their culture and ethnic differences. The formation of linguistic states had made the country more united and easier to administer. So due to the distribution of these states based on their language and cultural and ethnic differences, India didn't get separated. I should say, it got unified. Based on the linguistic differences, these states were formed. India got unified and it became very easy to administer these states. Now you can see over here, after 1956, India got separated based on its language. So Gujarat has its own Gujarati language, Maharashtra has its Marathi language, Karnataka has its Kannada language, Kerala has its Malayalam language, Tamil Nadu has its Tamil language, Andhra Pradesh has Telugu language, Orissa has Oriya, West Bengal has Bengali. So many states now got separated, okay, based on the language, but it became very easy for the government to administer these states. Further, another test for the success of the Indian Federation was the framing of language policy in a multilingualistic country. So after framing the policy of language policy, our country came to be known, India came to be known as a multilingualistic country where multi-languages were or are spoken. The census of India held in 1991, okay, identified 1500 distinct languages and grouped them into 114 major languages. So the census which was held in 1991, at that time it was observed that India followed 1500 distinct varied languages, okay, and after that these languages were grouped under 114 major languages. Out of these 114 major languages, our constitution recognizes 22 scheduled languages. I'm sorry. So under these 114 major languages, there are 22 scheduled languages. Okay, these languages, they have got the special recognition under our constitution. So Hindi is the official language. After that, Hindi became our official language or our national language. Though Hindi has got the national, the status of national language, there are some states that conduct their work in their own local language. They don't follow Hindi as a local language. How? Even though Hindi has got the national status, but there are some states they do not follow Hindi as a local language, their national language. Okay. According to the constitution, the use of English language as an official language was to stop in 1965. However, this did not happen due to the opposition and agitation of non-Hindi speaking states. What happened after the independence? Britishers, they left in India, they left English language. Okay, so during the colonial rule, some states, they were following English language, and after the independence, this language, English language, this language became their official language. Whole and soul, they followed this language. Okay, so after the constitution was formed, there was a special act was mentioned in that under the constitution. It was the use of English language as an official language was to be done till 1965 in these states. But these states who followed English as their official language, they opposed, and they were not Hindi speaking states. So they were non-Hindi speaking states, and they opposed and they agitated. They were very angry on the adoption of Hindi as a special language or national language. So these states, the Official Language Act, under the Official Language Act states that English would remain, under the Official Language Act, it states that English would remain the official language of the country so long as non-Hindi speaking state desire. So it depends upon these non-Hindi speaking states to have Hindi as their national language, or till where they will follow this English language as their official language. It is up to them. And who has given them this right? The Official Language Act. Under this act, they have got the right till where they desire, they can follow English as their official language. Kerala is the best example of this. Kerala follows the English as its official language. If you visit Kerala, you will find people over there either speaking Malayali or they are speaking English. They do not speak Hindi at all in their state. Okay. Till here we'll study in this video. Okay, I want you people to go through these videos 1, 2, 3 part. Okay, and read the chapter, these parts which we have covered in these videos. Go through the refresher notes and try to understand it in a better way. Okay,